Are you facing challenges with your relatives? Are their expectations of what you and your spouse should do
Mhm.
troubling your relationship? Well, today you are at the right place at the right time
Mhm.
because we are going to talk about how to navigate family expectations. So, those family members, your family of origin, who think that, hey, yes, you are obligated and should do certain things and it's interfering in your relationship. We are going to discuss that today. So stay tuned in.
Good evening, Unique Couples community. Welcome back. We are Vito and Linda Patrick, and welcome to another Unique Couples Sunday Night
Yeah.
Live.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know where you are watching from. Go ahead and type in hashtag live squad. Those of you that'll be watching the replay, go ahead and type in hashtag replay. This evening, we are talking on the topic how to navigate
Mm-hmm.
family expectations. And you're going to be in for a great time this evening. So buckle up, sit back, and listen in as we go through how to navigate family expectations. If you haven't subscribed to the Unique Couples YouTube channel, you want to go ahead and subscribe. And
Mm-hmm.
you want to ensure that you turn on that notification
Click,
bell
click, click,
so
click.
you can know every time we go live here at Unique Couples. So go ahead and type in the chat. Let us know where you are watching from. Let us know how many years you have been married. Go ahead, type it in, and
Mm-hmm.
let us know.
Yes. And then also let us know your takeaways as we go along. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the comments as well. So we're talking about expectations, and expectations are the things that people strongly believe. So it's like your family, your relatives, and sometimes I kind of like use them interchangeably, but we're really talking about your relatives because the two of you, you're a family. Then you have kids, of course, you're a
Mhm.
family. But it's those beliefs, those strong beliefs that your relatives may have that they think that you should live up to, or they think that you as a couple should live up to. And sometimes it's okay because, they expect you to probably bring a great dish to a dinner. They expect you to show up on time. They expect certain things. And it's like, social graces, those are okay. But when it comes to expectations and it interferes in your relationship, or it's impacting your relationship negatively or your family, then it's a problem. So we want to talk about how to navigate family expectations. And then we have to ask, what are some of these expectations? What are some of the things that they may want you to do? And for one example is they want you to share everything. And when I say share everything, not just share everything in terms of material things, they want you to share everything as in share your couple business, as in what's happening in your relationship. And they expect to be privy to everything that's happening in your relationship. And you have to put a stop to that. So when we look at how to navigate it, we know there are some things that, hey, are definite no. And then we still want to maintain this relationship and contact with our family members, but we want to do it in such a way that it's like a win-win for everyone as much as possible. But at the end of the day, it's going to be you and your spouse still together, connecting, right? Still together, and having this experience positively. You want to still have that connection and not let the outside influences interfere with your relationship. So that was one of the things, sharing everything. And when I'm talking about sharing everything, I was talking about, those personal stuff as well. Yeah. So any other expectation?
Yes, another expectation can sometimes be to support them financially in terms of paying all their bills and stuff. And this one here can be a little complicated, but at the same time, there are still some expectations. So with this here, this is something that you want to make sure it is discussed, and there are some resolutions or something is in place. Because when it comes to money can cause problems. And you want to avoid issues, you want to avoid problems. So that is another one that you want to make sure it's being controlled, and the expectations are also being managed as well.
Yeah, so we have to look at those expectations, think about those, and see how you can navigate. Look at the ones that are causing problems and then navigate them. So let's look at how we can actually navigate family expectations. Okay, so 3 ways to do that. And it's really relative. So we're going to deal with, I guess the same thing could apply for your actual family members as well. But for the most part, it would probably be your relatives who expect these things more than the persons who are actually living in your household. So one of the first things that you can do, we're talking about 3 ways to navigate family expectations. So I think we're ready for number 1.
Yes. And number 1 is, first, make your family goals clear to others.
Yeah. So it's not like you have to be like you're telling everybody what it is that you're doing and all that. No, it's not that, right? But it's letting them know what's important, what's of value to you.
Yeah, because earlier we would have mentioned about, there are some expectations of sharing everything. Now, like Linda mentioned earlier, some things you're not supposed to be sharing as husband and wife with family members. But when it comes to goals, yes, there are some goals you want to make sure your family is aware of. So you want to make your family goals clear to others. So that there is important as well, because there are some values, some things you want to achieve, you want to accomplish, and there's nothing wrong with individuals knowing what these goals are.
Yes, definitely. And we're talking about your relatives, your family members. So you can choose the degree of how, the level of which you share, but it's important for them to know what's important. So when you decide to decline certain things that they're asking you to do, they will at least you would be clear in telling them what your goals and what your the things that you are dealing with, some of the things that you're working towards, so that they won't feel as if like you don't care, and what's happening with you. So make it clear to them that at this moment we are presently working on doing this or that, so we won't be able to support you financially, we won't be able to do this, or due to travel arrangements we won't be able to come to the graduation, or we won't be able to come to every birthday event because hey, I'm studying right now. So just certain things, kind of make it clear, because at the end of the day you're not an isolation in your relationship. You still want to connect with relatives and family as well, especially if it's a positive, supportive relationship, which is what we want, and what we are trying to get everyone to kind of like make sure that they have established. Okay, so we're ready for number two.
Yes, number two, address any concerns or conflicts before they arise.
I like that one. Before they arise. So it's like seeing hindsight. It's not no hindsight. You want to do that like foresight before the problem arises. Kind of like address it. Like some things I know, like maybe I don't know. I'm not going to drive in that direction because certain things going to happen, and I want to avoid that. So it's almost like I know, well, this child has to do something, or there might be a potential for, so it's being proactive.
Yes.
Before the problem. Yeah. What you say? No Monday.
No Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, no Monday morning quarterbacking. Before the problem or the conflict arises, you want to try to put measures in place before that, right?
Yes. So some of the things you also want to look at is you want to select an appropriate time to discuss concerns.
Not just time, but place as well.
Yes. Time and place. Yes, that's important as well. Then you also want to use a calm, non-confrontational tone.
Ooh.
Yes.
This one is a problem, because like even with the other day I had to remind our kids, like, hey, ease the tone down. Like you don't have to sound like, hey, your opponents and arguing and constantly bickering with each other. No, you're on the same team. You're supposed to work and be supportive and connect with each other and support each other. So you don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be like, hey, you want to jump down in somebody's throat. And no, be calm, be non-confrontational. Be, hey, be nice with your tune. Your tune.
Exactly.
Yeah, tune.
Yes, because another one can be you have to control your emotions. That's very important as well. Controlling your emotions. So you want to be mindful of that as well. And then another one is listen to understand and not to comment or judge. Listen to understand and not to comment or judge, because we would have all heard it. You have two ears and one mouth. So you want to do more listening before you comment or respond.
That's a problem.
So you want to make sure you listen
a lot of times.
Listen to understand.
Guilty. It's a problem a lot of times.
All of us are guilty of it, I mean, in some way, shape, or form. None of us are perfect, we are guilty. Once we hear something, we are quick to comment or respond. So that's why it's important that you listen to understand and not to comment or judge.
And that is something that I had to learn to do, and still learning to do, because I want to sometimes say my point in the midst of someone saying their point. Nope, I want to correct you right there before you even finish that sentence. And I have to remember to listen, stop, pause, and put the calmness in there, and understand what it is. So I'm just going to get the general idea, specific information as well of what the person is saying, understand what they're saying, and not just to, oh, let me wait till I finish so I could say what I have to say, but you're not really listening to understand what they know.
Yeah.
Okay. So your family members may decide, and they may tell you that, hey, they may ask you to do something at which you feel, first of all, that, hey, I can't do. But when you actually listen to what it is they're saying and you understand what it is they're saying or what the request is, you will realize that, hey, I can find a way to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I can be accommodating with this and still maintain and live up to what we're doing as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And it's both of it can still happen. So you can kind of like strategize with that and think outside of the box and not just be so stringent, because if you listen and you try to understand what the speaker is saying, and of course, get response back and ask them, like, restate what they said so that you can make sure that they understand. I mean, you understand what they said, then that will definitely help. But this part it's like super important. Yeah. It's really something that needs to happen. Yeah. Okay. Right. So you want to use foresight instead of hindsight. Okay. So we want to make sure we think about these things and conflicts that may arise. Okay. This person wants to borrow the car and all that stuff. We're not going to try to do some of these things. What may happen? So it's just like so many different things. But yeah. Okay. Number 3. I think we're ready for number 3. Number 3.
Reassure your relatives about your willingness to work with them.
Yeah. It's very important.
That's a very important one.
Because it's like you're all supposed to be. It might not be that way, but in healthy relationships and healthy families, and you're all working together. You're not competing against each other. You're working together. You're trying to accomplish things together. You want everyone to succeed. And so if that is the spirit of which you are raising your children or you have as a couple, then it will definitely drive what you do. So you don't want it to be where they feel as if you don't want to help. They feel as if that you're not connecting, that like you're wishing the worst for them. No, let them know, let them understand, because of course you're listening to them and you understand what they feel. Let them feel your heart. Let them feel that you do care, that you do understand, and that you do want to be supportive, because that's what families do, right? That's what families do. That's the community of support that comes together. And I'm so happy that I have that. Like, like we have that support, and that has made it so much easier for us with raising our 3 kids. That's why we could still, kind of look young and all that stuff, because we had a whole family of support. Right. And that's very important. So if you don't have it, you create that family. And if it starts with just you, and then, you and your spouse, and you create that, where you create that network and family of support for you and your children. If you have any, or just you, and then you be that for other people as well. It's not just a one-way street. It's they say a friend in need is a friend indeed. But anyway, you help me, I help you, we help each other. It's interconnected, interdependence. Okay. And that's something that we need to learn and appreciate, because God created us as social beings. He created us this way. He created us to want, to connect and to interact and to have those, just be around and with people and to be able to support. He did that. And that's how Adam and Eve were created, right? She was created as a helpmate. Okay, so he wasn't to be alone and left to do everything. And so that's the same thing. When our families, we need to work together.
Yes, that's important. Working together. And when we talk about working together, we also don't want couples to operate in isolation.
Nope.
And families shouldn't either.
Not at all.
Yeah, so you don't want to do that, because you want to make sure that you communicate exactly what the plan is, what the goals are, so you can know exactly what is going on. And when we talk about couples don't operating in isolation, so like Linda and I, we don't want to operate in isolation. because if we have different things going on, both of us need to know so we can know what the expectations are. And then when we have other persons involved as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
then both of us, we need to be on one accord. We need to be on one page. So it doesn't sound like I'm operating in silo. Linda doesn't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to make sure that you don't operate in isolation.
So it's not it's also yeah, it's also, you know, you two don't operate in isolation of each other as a couple.
Yeah.
And then as it relates to your family members, you don't want to be, oh, it's us against the world. No, it's not us against the world. It's us together, and our family will be included. Like our family will be a part of whatever process. Of course, you know, not all details and stuff will be shared, and they could be shared at later times, but you don't want to isolate yourself from your family either. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have that network of support and that you're all supporting each other.
Yes, that's also important. And then don't be the family that belittles, discourages, or competes. You want to be the family that works together to improve this and the next generation.
Yeah.
So that there is very important.
That is the, what's that now? I was gonna say the $1 million or the $1 billion thing now. Like if we could figure out how to get our families and these units to be working together and united in a mission and support, that is going to transform lives. That is going to transform the next generation. That is going to transform communities if we do that, and we can do it with God's help. So don't think that it can't be done. It can be done. Want to learn more? Definitely connect with us and go ahead. We have some links in the chat and all that stuff. So go ahead and connect with what you want to connect to. But families, don't forget to keep praying. Pray, just have that time where, of course, you pray individually, you come together as a couple and pray, and then definitely as a family. And then some things. I remember my daughter was asking me about something. I think it was a recipe or something, and I'm like, girl, every time I cook this particular meal, I'm like, God, please make it taste good. God, please make it taste good. So he's interested in every single thing about us and our relationship. So some things you just have to give to God and watch him work. But you also do the work, and then you keep praying. So go ahead, navigate those family expectations, and then guess what? Have some of those great expectations, not too high, but those great expectations that will work for you and your family, for you as a couple, and that will get you through and get to the next generation so that y'all can indeed have a loving family, successful family that is going to impact and change the world.
Yeah, so go ahead and put in a takeaway maybe that we may not have mentioned.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and put it in the chat and then let us know which one of the takeaways was the greatest takeaway. Let us know that. And for those of you that are just coming in, you would want to go back and watch the replay so you can hear all of the tips.
Yeah.
Because you probably only caught this very last one. So you want to go ahead and go back and watch the replay so you can get those first 2 tips. We had fun sharing with you here today on Unique Couples Sunday Night Live. We are Vito and Linda Patrick. Here at Unique Couples, we are building stronger couples, healthier marriages, and happier families. Love you guys. Have a great rest of the evening and have an awesome week. Bye.